scales. Colin's going to help me out. So really nice thing to remember is just that pattern of whole steps and half steps, which is the same no matter which major scale you're playing. So you can start on any note and remember whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, two whole steps, half step, three whole steps, half step. So if I'm playing in the G scale, right, G, I got a whole step, and then half step, right, and then three more whole steps. Here's one, two, and we have to do another whole step, so here we're going to skip and play this one. And a really easy way to remember this is there's always a half step right before the last note. Right, so if I'm in G, the last note is always going to be a half step right below G. So there's your seventh interval. Right, when I'm in C, the one right before is a half step below. If I was in the key of, say, D flat, which is this one, the last note is a half step right below D flat. You also call this note the leading tone because it leads right into the last note. So yeah, we see that F is changed to F sharp, give us that nice half step at the end. And then here's our two tetrachords here. And then the same thing happens if we play the F scale, right? So starting on F, we got a whole step, and now we have to do a half step. So we're going to go here, whole step, half step. And then we have three more whole steps, so this whole step will bring us right here. And remember, we're ending on a half step, so there's the half step at the end. Whoops. Beautiful. Nice simple pattern. Whole, half, whole, half. Okay, here's a couple more major scales. We got B flat, D and A. So B flat, a whole step would bring us here. Another whole step, and then we do a half. And now I do another whole, another whole, and we end with a half step. You might have noticed that now we're playing two black keys. The first, on the F scale, we had one black key. The next scale around will actually have three black keys and then four black keys. So E flat will be the next one. So starting on E flat, whole step, half step, another whole step, whole step, and then end on the half step. You can see we have three black keys. We want to go this one. Yeah, nice, beautiful. Okay, and then same for D and A, right? So starting on D, we got whole, half, whole, half, and that nice leading tone into D. And the next one will be A. So A, got that C sharp with a half step right there, whole, half. And you see again we have three, adding another black key each time. Cool, yeah, that's so useful, whole, half, whole, half. Sometimes when I'm on guitar and I'm playing a solo and I don't remember the key very well, I just remember that. Skip two frets, skip one, or go to the next fret, right? So two frets, one fret, two frets, one fret. That's the same as whole step, half step. Cool, those are those scales. Maybe it's as important to play them as it is to write them out. And key signatures are super helpful, so that way you don't have to write down a sharp every time a sharp would show up. That would get really old. So when we're in the key, we'll just write down the sharps in our key signature. I don't know why they decided to write the F on this line as opposed to down here. Both of those notes are F, if you remember. But yeah, just useful to memorize the pattern of the sharps and flats. But of course, you can always look it up too. So there's our key signatures. think we know a couple more scales. Don't we know E flat and A flat? Or no, we know E flat and A, yeah. So you would just add another flat in. And you follow the same pattern. So this one's here, then we go up, and then so the next flat is actually right down here, A flat. And then you put the B flat up right below it. And then it kind of makes a cool little pattern. Same thing with here. We start with F sharp, now we have C sharp, and then we put the G sharp up on the line above it. And then the D sharp would be the next one. That would go in the line right there, etc. Okay, cool. Always good to look at your key signature, and it's okay to write the key signature in throughout. If you forget to play those notes, that's totally fine. So for review, right, write these scales out. Shouldn't be that hard. Now we can arrange all of these scales in a circle of fifths. So if we go up by an interval of a fifth, we will eventually play all the chords. So we go from C to G, up a fifth to D, up a fifth to A, up a fifth to E, up a fifth to B. B goes up a fifth to F sharp, to C sharp, to G sharp, to D sharp, to A sharp, to, where would A sharp go to? It would go to F, which would then go back to C. Oops, that's what we started on. That's why it's a circle. And you'll add one sharp or one flat as you continue around the key too. So starting on C, we add one sharp for G major. We add two sharps for D major, three sharps, etc. And you can go the other way, and you will add flats. So this is going down a fifth. So from C, we go down a fifth to F, we go down a fifth to B flat, down a fifth to E flat. Cool, and then again, adding all the flats until you get way too many flats. If you're in the key of C flat, you're probably having a hard time. Cool, great. So it's really nice because then you have all of your major keys, and it really shows you which keys are related to each other. So even though C and D are next to each other in the alphabet, the ones that are next to each other actually have more notes in common, so they tend to work better together. Okay, so see if you can identify these keys. And of course, you can always use the circle of fifths the whole time you do this. Just like in chemistry where you can have a periodic table to reference, this is a good to have the circle of fifths so that you can reference it throughout your work. Okay, good luck.